before. The OSCE, the Organization of Security and Cooperation in Europe, founded in 1975, was such an idea of dialogue. We had the NATO and we had the Warsaw Pact, and they talked with each other, generals and military and civilians, politicians. They met and talked about human rights. They had dialogue, they had respect for each other. And the risk of war was, in my view, never very big. I don't like the pact policies at all. I would love both to have disappeared much earlier, but there was a taking the other into account as part of me. And you may remember that there was an advisor to, forgetting his name, Arbatov, probably it was, an advisor to a close collaborator of Gorbachev, who said, who said to the West, we're going to do a terrible thing to you. We are going to deprive you of your enemy. And here you have a very fundamental thing. The Christian Western world cannot live without enemies, cannot live without mission. They must be like us, if not Christians. They must be our democracy. They must have our human rights. They must have our political system. They must have all these kinds of things that we have. And if they don't do that peacefully, you know, with a Bible, kind of democratic Bible, human rights Bible, we know how to do it with a sword. That's why we have 630 military bases around the world. That's why we do intervention and regime change on an assembly line basis. So we will finally have a world that looks very much like the rest, like we do in the West. And here a couple of countries are saying, go and forget it. Because we in China, we in Iran, and we in other places, and we in Russia now, we're not going to dance to your pipe anymore. And the West cannot understand that. And why can't the West understand that? Basically because it's West. But secondly, because it's a West on its way down. You take the old patriarch in the family on his deathbed or close to it, he will get less and less tolerant on listening to the grandchildren or the children's ideas or opposition. He will just say, do what I say, because he doesn't have the energy, he doesn't have the vision, and he feels that his power is slipping out of his hands. That's where the United States of America is today. I say with regret, because I've never been anti-American. I'm born into a West American style of life. I'm a collector of American art. I work with Americans' best intellectuals. I've done so for years. I have never been anti-American. I'm anti-imperialism. I'm anti-militarism. I'm anti-nuclearism. And unfortunately, these bad things congest on the United States, and they cannot get out of it.